Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Talk Wordy, my hub for all of the words that I read, write, or otherwise want to yap about. And welcome to the first episode of season 3. I cannot believe we are 3 seasons deep into this podcast. This is episode 71. If you go all throughout my library, which is disgusting and crazy. I think it's only been a year. Actually, when this airs, this might just be right around the 1 year anniversary of the podcast. So I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for tuning in. But now it's time that I introduce to you first guest of season 3, a very, very special guest and a lovely friend of mine. She is the debut author of A Second Shot and the Arizona-based wedding photographer of my dreams, who I online stalk for inspiration all the time. Hopefully she's not checking profile visits. Please welcome Nikki Hutchings.
Thank you so much for having me. And I also stalk your Instagram all the time, so it's fine.
Oh my gosh. So fun fact about me on the side is I
Mhm.
attempt to moonlight as a photographer of any possible subdomain. And when I started breaking into weddings, I found out that you were like a for real wedding photographer. I I don't know if there was a way for me to like pin your profile or something, but you were always at the top of my search, my Instagram search bar, and I was just going through. You genuinely have the cutest, prettiest feed, and I could stare at it like an art museum. So,
My
I mean,
gosh, thank you so much. You have no idea how much that means to me. I can't believe I've been in it long enough that other people are interested in what I do. You know, the fact that you're even interested in it. I love seeing your work, your posts, they make my day. So thank you so much.
you're so sweet. Okay, so before we talk more about your unreal talent, both as an author and a photographer, I thought that we would kick off the episode that I normally do with my guests and talk a little bit about what we are reading, watching, and listening to. So, you're my guest of honor. Please go first. Do the honors.
Okay, thank you. This is surreal because I've listened to all the episodes. I can't believe it's my turn. But I am reading right now. I actually am going to plug Sydney for you guys because I just read her book, The Fall of Jericho, and can't stop thinking about it. I was just telling her, like, he is at the top of my book boyfriend list. I'm obsessed with him, and I will be reading the second one as soon as possible. So I finished that, and then I also wanted to plug my friend Meg Duty. She has another wedding vendor romance that I finished, and it's called Not According to Plan. Truly just the best time.
I love her. Also, something I
Yes.
didn't say in your intro, fellow hot girl, we are part of Hot Girls Who Write. It genuinely saves my writer brain sanity. And shout out to Meg, who is also a fellow hot girl. So,
Yes, truly. The best group ever.
yes. Okay, what have you been watching?
So honestly, I'm not the biggest like TV movie person ever. I've gotten into it more in the last year now that I've, started my writing journey because I just feel like I can't read as much as I used to. But I have been rewatching Grey's Anatomy. I have never finished it all the way through. I think I got to season like 15 or 16 and then stopped. So I restarted like a month or two ago with the intention of catching up to the current seasons.
Oh my gosh. That's an investment. I
It
genuinely,
really is.
is there another show besides like Survivor or The Bachelor that's had more than 20 seasons? Like a scripted
I,
show. Is there an
yeah,
actual
I don't think so.
show that's had more? I mean, Shonda Rhimes,
Yeah.
she killed it. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, and I'm sat. I'm sat. I'm ready. I think I'm through season 4. I think I just maybe finished it. So I'm ready to keep going.
Mm. Okay, and then last but not least, what are you listening to?
Listening to, I'm audiobooking. I'm a big audiobook girl. The Windy City series, another reread, but I'm obsessed with it. I think I'm on the last like 3 chapters of Caught Up right now. So
Ooh.
I'll probably finish that today. And I've also been obsessed with the recent, I don't think it's like super recent, but the new Olivia Rodrigo album, I can't stop listening to it.
I have to know, I need like top 3 tracks currently because
Oh,
I know they change. They've changed for me
yes.
several times over, but
Mhm.
currently, what would you say makes the podium for You Seem Pretty Sad for a Girl So in Love?
Oh my goodness. I think top right now is probably Expectations because as a single girl in the dating trenches, she just gets it. Like I appreciate that song so much. Um, I love all of them. I love Maggots for Brains. I love probably The Cure is probably my third on that ranking.
Mm, excellent choice.
Yes.
That album genuinely, I don't know if I have the proper words for it. I was very new to
No,
this.
same.
I liked Sour. I enjoyed Sour.
Mhm.
It felt like her.
Yes.
Guts was okay. It's not that I disliked Guts. I didn't
Mhm.
resonate with Guts as much, but it was still
Okay.
fun.
Yeah.
This third album, bar for bar, this is the album that I latch on to. I love
Yes.
every single track without fail. I could not believe that she pulled it off. I usually with most artists, I either cling to their sophomore album or their third album.
Mhm.
And so when
Okay.
I didn't completely click with Guts, I was like, all right, album number 3, let's do this. And
Yeah.
as soon as I saw the album cover, I was like, I think this is the one. I think this
Yes.
is it. So I love that. Thank you for sharing. You've got taste
Of
all around.
course. Thank you.
Okay, for anybody who is curious to know what I've been reading, watching, or listening to, reading wise, I have an art copy of A Summer of Stars by Liana Sincotti, and I'm giggling and kicking my feet and having the best time. If for whatever reason, oh, it won't be an art copy by the time this releases. I'm figuring that out in real time. But shout out to Forever and Grand Central for sending me the copy, and Liana herself. I love you, Queen. I'm reading it in preparation to moderate for her book tour stop.
Wow.
Absolutely gagged and gooped that she asked me to moderate. So I'm tweaking. So I've been having such a fun time with that book. I'm reading it physically because I need to not have screen time. I need to like
So
touch
real.
and turn
Yeah.
pages, like actual paper pages.
Mhm.
Um, Although I'm probably gonna audiobook Love Theoretically for my book club. It's gonna be a reread or a re-listen. Man, I think that's my favorite Allie Hazelwood book. Deepened
It's
is
so good.
close, but I think Love Theoretically does take the cake for me.
Mhm.
Okay, watching wise, this is gonna be direct contrast to everything I've been talking about. My husband and I have been watching a lot of World War II movies. We watched
Okay.
Hacksaw Ridge. Ooh. We watched, or we're about to watch Saving Private Ryan. Mm. So fun. And then oddball in there, we just recently watched Forrest Gump, and we love Forrest Gump. It's just it's so fun to quote. It's more so about like the isms you pick up from the movie, similar to like Princess Bride. Like it's just a
Mhm.
fun, silly, kooky movie that you just quote pieces of. I love
Yeah.
Forrest Gump. And then listening wise, I return to school, or I guess I go to school. This is my first year teaching, but I go to school tomorrow for professional development, and then I work all until the school year starts. So I've been listening to The Calendar by Panic at the Disco because the chorus starts and it's like put another X on the calendar, summer's on its deathbed, and I'm like, it's on its deathbed.
Oh
um
no.
it's like 105 degrees out here. But then in addition to that, I love yacht rock, and not just that's what the Olivia Rodrigo album like reminded me of, when it's like
Okay.
I like your big sister, and she's like trying to impress her with the cynical humor and yacht rock music taste. That is me. I am the older sister. I have a younger brother, so I'm like, she's talking about me.
Yes.
Um, so I've been listening to a ton of like Little River Band,
Mhm.
Robbie Dupree. Like, if you could only know about me from my music taste, you'd probably think I was like a white man in my 60s with a frosted beer glass on a
Oh.
so
No, I
yeah,
love it. You
I'm like,
also have taste. You've got
yes.
range.
I'm basically like trying to inject summer into my veins
Mhm.
before it doesn't feel like summer minus the heat. So
Yes.
that's what's up with me. But now let's
No, I
talk
love
more
it.
about what's up with you, homegirl. The day that this is releasing, if they're listening on release day, so happy you're here. So freaking cool. If not, either way, your debut novel is out in the world. How does
That
that
is
feel to
so
like think
crazy.
about?
Yeah, it's wild. I was telling my mom actually that that would probably be the conversation that we were having. It's like, oh, I'll probably have to say, it's out now. And we're a couple weeks away still. And it just feels, all of it feels so surreal.
What would you say you're most excited about regarding release day? And is there anything that's giving you maybe just like a hair of anxiety?
So I think the answer is the same for both of these, and it's just that people will be able to read it. I am so extremely like beyond excited. This has lived very quietly in my life, like just for me for a long time. I actually wrote the entire thing before I told anyone about it. So just the fact that other people, know about it and I have people asking me about my book, it's so crazy and I'm so excited, but I'm also just so terrified.
Well, don't be afraid because the book was absolutely adorable. Everybody is going to love it. But don't read your reviews. Just don't. Promise me you won't read your reviews. Only because like it's a rookie mistake that I don't want you to make. Like
No, absolutely.
your peace of mind will thank you. Even though like I feel like even the best books ever like get the nastiest reviews sometimes, just like stay away. That's my like
Totally.
post post debut author advice. Genuinely just don't look at Goodreads at all.
Yes,
And it will be a
totally.
wonderful day.
I 100%. And I have been trying to wean myself off of Goodreads and, brick it in my phone. So I'm trying to prepare myself. I'm pretty sensitive. So I know that if I do, and I inevitably would see some reviews that probably aren't the best, I think it would crush me. So we're going to try and avoid that altogether.
I will literally go fight people in the Goodreads comments for you, and I'll do it under my anonymous profile that because like it's so frustrating because when you spend so long on Goodreads as a reader space and you are a
Mhm.
reader, you just naturally go to pick it up. But then once you start putting books out, you're like, wait, I have to put like a baby gate over certain points of like
Yes.
access. Like, oh, my book's on there. Don't search it up. Yeah,
Yep.
only
No,
with
literally.
other people's.
Yeah, I've been having to stop myself already just to see how many people are like adding it to their shelves. I'm like, it's not even out yet. And I can't stop searching it just to see like, oh, is the number going up? So I'm trying. I'm trying really hard to like back off a little bit.
Well, I can promise you that those numbers are going to go up because you wrote a dang good book, and not just a dang good book, a freaking adorable with also sprinkles of like, how dare you book. And
Thank you so much.
I loved it so much. But even though I could gab about it forever, in the rare case that our listeners here haven't done their research and they don't know what your book is about,
Mhm.
share just like a quick little bit about, what a second shot is.
Okay, so my book, A Second Shot, follows Briar Burke, and she is a full-time wedding photographer trying to break out of her industry. She lives in New York City. She's been doing weddings for a while, and she gets this kind of like big break opportunity to last minute shoot her like dream destination wedding all the way in Switzerland. So of course, she says yes, and she hops on a plane, and she gets there, and she's so excited. And the very first day, she runs into her ex-boyfriend, and it turns out he's the best man. So they have to kind of figure out how to experience this wedding that's important to both of them, while also kind of figuring out how to stay away from each other. So it's really fun. It's really interesting, I feel like. And yeah, it's really dreamy in the wedding world. I tried to pick literally the prettiest place I could think of that I would want to shoot a wedding at, and I just wrote it. So
Well, Target acquired because oh my gosh, I've seen pictures, especially in winter too. You really nailed the head.
yes.
You nailed the oh my goodness, you hit the nail on the head. Hello, I'm not even gonna
Yes,
add
thank
that
you.
on me. Like I'm gonna let them understand that after 70 episodes, I'm just fried. Uh, no, I genuinely sometimes on TikTok when people are like romanticizing that it's like, oh, only 20 more Fridays until
Hmm.
Christmas or whatever,
Yeah.
and they use photos from like Switzerland Christmas because it's like that's the epitome of Christmas.
Yes.
I I would die to go. And so
Oh,
when
same.
I realized that that's where the story is predominantly set, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna set up camp here. I low key was like, I don't want to keep reading. I just want to sit here for a second because I would like to be in Switzerland winter instead of Texas. My AC is out in June. You know?
Yeah,
Uh,
no, literally, it's like 115 while I was writing this book about like this dreamy winter wedding. So I understand.
yeah. No. Oh my gosh. Okay, so talking about Briar and Heath,
Yes.
I think every time I think about him, I'm like, he's just so baby girl. I just love him.
Yes, he really is.
Um, Tell me a little bit about if there's anything specific. What inspired both of them as characters versus any other potential archetype that those characters could have been? Like, why were Briar and Heath the way that they each individually were?
Yes. So there are like layered answers to this question. I think the best way to just like start the explanation is when I first, this idea like came to me. I had never written anything in my life. I am a lifelong reader. I'm a huge fan of romance. If you knew me pre my book era, all I talked about was books. So when this idea came to me, I had literally no idea how to execute it. The very first thing that I did was I made a Pinterest board. I didn't make an outline. I didn't do any of the things that I would do now. I made a Pinterest board and I made a Spotify playlist. And I was just kind of scrolling through Pinterest, like, oh, what do I kind of want these people to look like? I do think that Briar kind of ended up looking similar to me. And that really wasn't intentional. I think it was like maybe subconscious. But she kind of has a very similar energy to me, I would like to think. Um, and that's probably because again, I am a wedding photographer and I just wrote what I knew. So, I was thinking about her and then I was thinking about who would mesh well with her. And there is a big like kind of disclaimer I like to give with this story is obviously this is not real. This is has in no connections to my professional career. However, with the idea, I was kind of thinking like, how would I potentially meet someone at a wedding? Because, have I thought about it, daydreamed about it? Of course I have. I'm a single wedding photographer. Like of course I have. But there's like a professional line that I also know that I would not cross.
Mm.
Groomsmen flirt with you, that just comes with the job. People flirt, it is what it is. But I didn't want her to, like meet a groomsman for the first time. I didn't really want to go with her being with another wedding vendor. It just like didn't feel right. So I kind of was like, what if it was someone she knew already? What if it was an ex? how would I feel seeing an ex at a wedding? I would surely crash out. I think she actually handles it better than I would have. But that's kind of where it came from, and then it just built on that. Um, I think that they have some really interesting situations they have to get themselves out of during that wedding weekend. And a lot of that was kind of coming from just like, what would I do? Because I do this, I work weddings, and how would I navigate that situation?
Yeah. And let me tell you something you did very well in this book as a fellow photographer. You kept her very, still in crisis mode, but level headed. I
Good.
think in rom coms, like, there's sometimes an implied emphasis on hijinks. I
Mhm.
think that it's like her behavior is incredibly realistic. And I'm not going to go into detail about it because I want y'all to read about it for yourselves, but it was really refreshing to read interactions where the lead behaves like a normal human being. Like, still has
Yes.
those big emotions, but like it's not out of the question that she would behave a certain way. So I think that was like
Yes.
top notch.
Well, thank you so much.
Also, also you mentioned you were like, I just wrote what I know, period, sis. And yes, you did. Um, so I'm kind of gonna bebop back and forth, but
Yeah.
tell I mentioned it earlier, but tell our listeners a little bit about like your stint as a wedding photographer, which is obviously still going,
Yes.
but like your
Yes.
career, not your stint, but you know what I mean.
No, totally. So, this is so funny. I have my mom to thank for so many things. My photography career being the biggest one. I grew up, I was always creative. I was a dancer, I just love a creative space. My mom was a wedding photographer. And I, watched her growing up. She ended up kind of like retiring out of it when I was a teenager. And so the equipment just kind of sat in our house. And, she'd do stuff for fun, but she was more focused on, mothering us. So kind of fell to the wayside. My senior year of high school, COVID hit. And my dance, all of my big dance things that we'd been working all year for got canceled. And it just like felt like my life was over. And we went into quarantine and I had nothing to do but read. And I was kind of going a little crazy. And my mom, she had tried to convince me for years before that, to try it out. She just thought I would really like it. But she finally convinced me during quarantine. And she's like, this is the perfect time to try it. Literally no pressure. But if you like it, you can spend all this time working on it. So I took my little sister and we went out to just like a wash out by our house and we were out there for hours and I fell in love. So that's kind of how it started. I went to college. I did it part-time, just more as like a hobby through college. And then I kind of graduated, came home, and realized I didn't want to be a teacher. So I had this like epiphany kind of freak out, and my parents suggested, why not do your photography full time? At that point, I had done a handful of weddings, nothing like super crazy, but I had done some before and I knew that I loved it. So I took the leap and I just said, okay, I'm gonna go full time into weddings. That was at the very end of 2023. I've been full time since now, and it is just my favorite thing in the entire world. Like I said earlier, I'm a little bit sensitive. I'm a hopeless romantic, so it's just like a great world for me to be in. The pressure was a lot in the beginning, but you learn to work with it, and I'm glad that you feel like Briar did that because that was, my concern was like, this wedding, there's a lot going on for her. Like, this is a lot. So I wanted it to feel like she could handle it though. Like, yes, there's again these big emotions because of course there's seeing an ex that like was your first love, biggest love. You're gonna feel that way. But she's capable and she can do
Period. Period.
it.
Love it. Okay. Again, like I said, we're probably gonna bebop back and forth, but
That's okay.
um what was your, without being too spoilery, if we can help
Yes.
it, but also all bets are off. What would you say was your favorite scene to write? And from your early feedback, what do you think is the scene that readers have loved the most?
Oh my goodness. Okay. My favorite, there's so many. Honestly, like asking me to pick one is like asking me to pick my favorite child. I don't know how I'm gonna choose. But I feel like the thing that has changed the least in all of the drafting and editing is the reception at the wedding. Something about like that night. The very first scene I ever pictured was like the after dinner dancing portion and like them interacting the way that they do. That was like in the first draft hasn't changed, like is still very similar to how I started with it. And I just like giggle. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like it's just oh, it just like makes me so excited. There's a scene after the wedding, directly after, where they're kind of like forced into each other's proximity a little bit more. And that is also something that I really, really like love and always have. I also just really love all of their teenage scenes, like all of them falling in love for the first time. I'm so protective over those. I just think they're so like cute and he's such a flirt, but he's good at it, but he's still a teenager. It's just so cute. So yeah, I feel like that didn't really answer your question, maybe,
No,
but I love it all.
it was perfect, and it was funny. I have a really bad habit, and it wasn't just with this book, it's happened for
Mhm.
a while. Sometimes if I'm reading, especially if it's an art copy, I
Yeah.
forget certain tropes to expect. And so in
Yes.
this case, I had forgotten it was a dual timeline. And
Oh,
so I was reading like the lead up to the wedding, and then it
yeah.
started to go back to the past. And I was like, what? We need more context? And
Yes.
teenage Heath is everything to me. I would protect him with my life.
Same.
So stinking cute.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's literally he can do no wrong to me.
no.
So I would like to hope readers really connect with him, especially like in the first half of the book in his teenage years, because I feel like that's where I connected with him the most. Of
Mhm.
course, we have the fun like angst and tension and craziness, but he's just a little softy. Like he's just a little sweetie. So yeah.
Okay. So something I've been seeing, especially in like book marketing trends lately, is that if
Mhm.
you like blank, then you'll love my book. So when it comes to a second shot, what kind of aesthetics, random objects, TV
Mhm.
shows, not necessarily like strictly book comps, but just things that remind you of a second shot that other people would probably love or resonate with, that associates back to your book. What do you think those things were if
Yes.
you were going to fill in the blank?
Okay. The first thing that comes to mind is the song that inspired the whole thing, and that's I Can Do It With a Broken Heart by Taylor Swift. I was listening to it. The reason this idea came to me in the first place was because I was listening to it and I was like, dang, how many times have I felt like that at a wedding? Wow. Like, I can't cancel. I can't call out. I show up no matter what's going on in my life, and I've been doing this for a while. So things have happened, I've been in the trenches of breakups and just absolute craziness and shown up with a smile on my face and gotten through it.
Mhm.
So that's kind of where I was like, that would probably be fun to read about. So that comes to mind. I feel like that's definitely just Briar's whole energy, the whole weekend of the book. She's got to get through it. She has to handle it. She has no other choice. So I would like to think she would listen to that song, like in the hotel room after the wedding and before. Um, I will say a book comp that I have been told kind of like from the early stages is The X-Files by Jessica Joyce, which
Ooh,
I'm a huge fan of, and Rewind It Back by Liz Tom 40. I feel like Rewind It Back has more of that like high school element, the dual timeline, and then obviously the X-Files Second Chance Wedding. So it's kind
yeah.
of like a fun combination of both. And then if I had to pick like a movie or a show, I would probably say like 27 Dresses, maybe, just because it's like I'm always the photographer, never the bride, you guys. I'm sick of it. So Briar definitely feels the same. And I feel like she would really resonate with that movie as well.
Oh, love. I recently, literally, while I was reading your book on vacation, the
Mhm.
one vacation I've taken in ages, I was in the hotel and I was just like, I just want to put something on the TV so I can fall
Yep.
asleep. And they were playing 27 Dresses, and
Oh
I
my
watched
gosh.
it. I did not sleep. I was like,
Yeah.
this is the vibe perfect. I spent my day
Mhm.
reading by the pool, this cute little wedding book that my friend wrote. Now I'm watching 27 Dresses and I'm going to sleep like a baby. So
That sounds
I
like the
feel
perfect
like,
day.
oh, it was perfect. Like slight sunburn, a nice dinner, my like the sun has started to lighten my hair. I've noticed there's like
Hmm.
not blonde streaks, but it's just
Yeah.
lighter. Um,
Yes.
it it, it was the best. Truly a 10 out of 10 reading experience.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
And then transitioning a little bit more to like the behind the scenes writing process,
Mhm.
what made you want to write and publish this book indie versus trad? Because
Mhm.
I know that's something I talk with guests a lot about. Our listeners
Yeah.
love being, kindly nosy about
Yes.
why the process is different for certain people. So for you,
Mhm.
what was the deciding factor or the steps that led you to picking the indie route? Um, how do you feel about it overall, assuming it's release day and it's like, woo, we
Yes.
did it.
Yeah.
And nothing happens to Amazon. I'm putting that out there
Please.
because
Please.
but how was that decision made for you? What impacted that decision? And yeah, I'll stay with that. I'll
Okay.
interrogate
No,
you
that's
about
perfect.
what's next later.
Yes. Okay. So, like I said a little bit earlier, I kept this a secret for a very long time. When I started, I did not tell a soul, like my parents, my best friends, nobody knew about it until the first draft was done. And if you know me, you know that that's a shock because I'm an open book. I like to overshare. I'm not mysterious at all. I literally have no secrets ever. If I start to have the inkling of a crush on someone, everyone I've ever met knows about it. Like,
Mhm.
nothing in my life is secret. But this I kept to myself. And for most of that, it was out of fear. Just like, what if it's terrible? What if I don't finish? What if, like, I don't know. I was so scared. But once I finished, once I typed, the end, I was like, oh, I can do it. Like, I did it. Okay. So then I started telling everybody. And, with telling everyone that I care about, everyone's super excited and everyone's just like, okay, like, what are we doing? When is it coming? I was like, it's just the first draft. Like, it's kind of terrible, I think. So we've got a lot of work to like do. And so at that point, I had just joined like Hot Girls, like kind of around that time. And everyone was talking about traditional publishing. So I was like, okay, that's what we're doing. Like I'm traditionally publishing it. Great. I didn't even really think about anything else for a while. I applied for Smooch Pit last year. I'm just, expecting the most. I was expecting everyone to fall in love with it and everyone to want to work with me. And I just, had literally zero other experience, so I didn't know what to expect. And my expectations were far too high, considering I didn't get a single response, email, nothing. And that that was the day that I realized traditional publishing wasn't for me. I realized that I'm not built for the waiting and the rejections, and also I'm just kind of impatient. Like, if it's something that I care about and love, I just want to do it and get it done. And indie felt like the quickest way to do that. Because the thing about me is, like, I'll put in the work. That's not the concern. It's just that I want to do it quickly. Like, I want to get it out there.
Yeah, you want
Um,
to have the thing to share with people.
Yes, and all it took, I didn't query the book once, not even once,
Good
but
for
all it took
you.
was Smooch Pit. And I realized how badly I felt after that. And I was like, I don't have it in me to do this again, let alone for who knows how long, to potentially never even get an agent or get a deal, you know? It was just, it felt like a lot to handle for me. And also I am a full-time wedding photographer, so I just have kind of a crazy life and schedule, and it's not predictable, and I couldn't fathom a way to like do both things at once. So I just figured, you know what? I'm gonna go indie. I'm gonna do it how I want, when I want, and we'll see what happens.
Which I love because I feel like Hot Girls has flipped. I feel like it's
Yes.
predominantly indie, which
Hmm.
is so refreshing to be around because even though
Yeah.
I'm pursuing trad, it's so nice to watch my indies soar
Yes.
while the trad girlies are crumbling a little bit.
No, I just feel for you guys. Like I just send all of the good vibes to you, but I just know I couldn't handle it. There's no way.
It's getting harder and harder. And I mean, there are some days like yesterday where I'm like, wow, am I built for this? Like, I
Yeah.
feel it's just, I'm, I gotta send major props to you for knowing before sending a single query that that's just not for you.
Yeah.
And I love that. I low key envy it. um, because it's so hard. And I think with the route that you've gone, it's allowed you to not have joy robbed from the book.
Exactly.
And I can read the joy in it because of that. Like naturally
Thanks.
rom-coms are very joyful and they're
Yeah.
fun, even with like sadder tropes or backstories.
Yeah.
But genuinely, this book was such a warm hug, even in the wintertime. And I think the fact that you just went pure, unadulterated indie, I could
Hmm.
feel it in the manuscript. So I love that for you. And there's no better time than now to be an indie author, truly. So I love this for you. It
Thank you
makes
so
me
much.
happy as your friend, as your peer, as your cheerleader in the back going, Yay,
Thank you.
me!
That's so nice. Yeah, I'm glad. You know, it's scary. It's scary to put it all on myself, especially like I have done that in a different sense with my photography before. You know, I jumped in not really prepared for any of it, and I had to build it from the bottom up by myself. So I think having that kind of background and like confidence in myself that, you know, I've done this before. Sure, it's not the same thing, but it's similar. And so having that confidence also was very helpful in like taking that leap and just like completely like not even considering trad anymore. But yeah, it's still scary. It's still very scary and it's still very expensive.
Oh, yes. I was just about to say, is it hard? You know, yeah, in the financial aspect, but also just in general with headspace and time commitment. Is it hard for you to balance those two passions slash careers? How does that work for you? What's your process when it comes to like dividing and conquering?
My process doesn't exist. Yeah, it's hard. It's
Good.
definitely hard. I am still learning. I have had to realize a couple of like key things. I think one is that I will not have a consistent writing schedule. That is just not conducive to my lifestyle. I don't have a consistent day-to-day schedule. I don't have a consistent month-to-month schedule. Like people get married when they want and they just reach out to me and I couldn't tell you what I'm doing next week, but I could tell you what I'm doing next year, November of 2027, like on a random Saturday. You know what I mean? So it's just like my schedule is very different day to day. I don't have any kind of consistency whatsoever. And so doing this, you know, it takes consistency. And that was a really hard transition for me, especially in the beginning. My first draft took as long as it did because there were 4 months that I didn't touch it in the middle of writing it. And that's just because I was so busy with weddings. And you know, I'm on the computer a lot. I'm doing so much that my brain couldn't fathom doing anything else. And so, for example, like this month and last month, very slow for me business-wise. It's hot here in Arizona. It's 115 degrees today. People get married. I don't want to be there when you do.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like I'm gonna be at home. So I've done so much writing in the last like month. I have this month to just pretty much fully focus on the release, and it's so exciting. Next month, I have I think 5 different weddings.
Wow.
2 of them are in different states. One is in Oregon and one is in California. And my best friend is getting married in Utah. Do you think I'm going to write a single word next month? Probably not. And I just have to be okay with that. Like that's why indie also works for me because it's flexible. I can do what I want when I want to. Um, and I also kind of have to do it that way.
Period. Oh my gosh. I'm so envious of an Oregon wedding. The Pacific Northwest is gorgeous. I had another
I'm so
photographer
excited.
friend of mine just shoot an Oregon wedding, and I'm like, do you need like a second or a third? Not even a second. Do you need like somebody to carry your bags or get your BTS? Like, I'm trying to
Oh
live
my
in
gosh.
my Twilight frolicking era.
Yeah, I would literally love to have you. I've only been to Oregon once, and it was when I paid to attend a like workshop there
Oh
because
yeah,
it's so beautiful.
it's stunning.
So the fact that the next time that I'm going is for a wedding I'm getting paid to be there for is like so exciting. I'm so excited.
You mentioned that writing this book was a fun way to kind of get out your bucket list of wanting to shoot a Switzerland wedding.
Yes.
Beyond that, and talking about like getting to go to these really pretty spots,
Mhm.
what would you say is like your second best, like big dream wedding shoot location?
Oh my goodness. I go back and forth. I think anything European, I would simply pass away. Like, I don't know if you know who Shay Sullivan is on TikTok. She's just an influencer. You're gonna have to look it up after this. Or I'll send it to you. Um, the most beautiful wedding I've ever seen. And I was just so like gagged at the photography aspect of it. Anything along those vibes. I'm not picky. Take me anywhere in Europe. I will be there happily with my little cameras. Um, yeah, I've been Mexico. I did actually shoot a wedding in Mexico last year, and that was really, really fun. I think something that's a little bit different between me and Briar is she wants to be a destination wedding photographer. I absolutely could not handle it, especially after shooting a wedding in Mexico last year. Was it the time of my life? Absolutely. Did it make me want to quit my job? Also, yes. It
Ooh,
was just so, there's just so much going on. Taking all of your gear to a different country, all
oh,
of
I
my film, all of my film, I did all of the precautions. I begged them to hand check it. All of it got ruined on the way back. Like, there are just so
oh,
many things. It was raining the full day of their wedding, their outside beach wedding in Mexico. It was just like a lot to handle. And that's another like piece where I know myself and I know my limits. And destination wedding photography full time is a hard no for me just because I couldn't handle it. Every once in a while, sprinkle one in here and there. That's great. But I don't know if I could do it more than that.
fair. Oh my gosh. I didn't even think about like the logistics of like checking all that stuff and the
Yeah.
film. The film, I can't even like with the heat and with making sure that they don't like throw it around or if anything gets stolen. Oh my gosh. That actually
Yeah, and
that sounds like hell, personally.
yeah, it was. And you take all the precautions. I carry on all of my gear. I do not like I'm very particular with all of it and things still happen. So it's just a lot. I have friends, like great friends of mine that do destination work. They're out of the country every weekend. And I love that for them. And they have the most beautiful weddings ever. And I just watch in my little Arizona bubble and I'm like, this is so amazing, but I could never.
For you.
Yeah.
It's like I got your back from
From
right here.
back here. Yeah.
Okay, so I have to be nosy. I have to ask because you
Please.
low-key brought it up. So you've done some writing. That's not this book that's coming out.
I
Anything you can
have.
tease? Anything you can share with the class?
I knew this question was coming and I was trying to decide what I wanted to share because I'm not gonna give any, I don't want to get hopes up for anything too quickly. You know,
Okay,
like I just said, I I don't know when anything's happening.
okay. I will revise my question so it's very vague, but can still get
Okay.
me excited.
Okay.
In your mind,
Yes.
what color is this book? Not cover wise, but just mood. What color is the book? And what song would you associate with it?
Okay, this is an easy answer. Baby Blue and Tit for Tat by Tate McRae.
Ooh, that's not what I expected. Wait a minute. Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. In
And
all,
I figure it's probably not what anyone's gonna expect, but I have a plan.
okay, because you mentioned it, I'm changing the
Yes.
lights.
Please. I love it. I love
This
it.
new era. I love a baby blue tit for tat and baby blue. I'm so curious now. That's so interesting. And it feels, granted, this is the only knowledge I know of this book. It feels
Yes.
so different from a second shot. Dare I ask, and you can plead the fifth, will we be seeing any characters from a second shot in this story?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, a confirmation. Breaking news. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Okay, I was hoping, but I also wasn't gonna like put all my eggs in that basket.
Yes.
So
No. Yeah.
okay. Tit for tat. I think I know who it is.
I'm sure you do. And you know what? If you want, I'll send you the blurb I've been working on after this.
um, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, incredible. That is
Yeah,
exactly.
it's a very, very different vibe than this first book. It's a different side of kind of me is coming out in this. So it's really fun.
It's a altar ego. I've been listening to that song non-stop. Oh my god.
Yes.
This book is your Sasha Fierce. I'm
Yes.
giddy. Oh my gosh. I
I'm so
cannot
excited.
wait to
I'm
see
glad you're
how this
excited.
unfolds. Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys, there you have it. Before I go into my outro, I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on the show. What a way to kick off season 3. Please do the honors, share where all of our listeners can find you and find your books.
Okay, well, thank you for having me, first of all. I'm on Instagram, it's Nikki R. Hutchings, and I'm also on TikTok, author Nikki H. My book will be out now on Kindle Unlimited. You can also get like a signed paperback with some goodies on my website.
That's so crazy. I love when my friends get to actually verbalize like my book is out.
Yeah.
It's
So
time.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with this book. It's one of my favorite reads of the entire year. And again, 10 out of 10 reading experience, vibes, the story, the characters, everything. Genuinely, y'all need to go read this book. I don't say
Thank you so
that.
much.
Also, I don't know if I said it on camera, but guys, I even wore my little camera earrings for this episode. So,
She's perfectly on theme. I love it.
yeah, theme matters. Okay, guys, there you have it. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Again, my thanks to Nikki for coming on the show. Don't forget to follow the podcast on Instagram and TikTok at TalkWordyPod. And oh, friendly reminder, I am not doing 2 episodes a week anymore because your girl is employed again. Yeah. Yeah, we're going back to Tuesdays, so once a week, but I feel like the episodes will have a better me presence now that I'm not like throwing spaghetti onto the wall and hoping everything sticks. I did a lot of love lit interviews, you guys, and every author was so fabulous, but I didn't want interviews I had done in February to air in December, so we had to go 2 episodes a week. I appreciate your patience. We're back to once a week, and I'm glad to have you for whichever ones you choose to stick around for. So, thank you again for watching, and until next time, I will see you in the next one. Bye, you guys.
Bye.